This is a stimulus update and the daily news report. Got some important update to share with you with food prices and gas prices are on the rise. I'll let you know which states are giving out different stimulus money up to $750 in 3 different states. Another city is giving out $1,000 per month as a universal basic income program, and the application dates have just been announced. Also, we will talk about what is being done about gas prices to bring those down. Let's get into it. So, stimulus updates and important inflation updates come out this week. On October 13th, which also serves as the day when the COLA announcement is going to be made, we are going to find out the latest CPI. So CPI hasn't really been too good lately, still on the rise. It went down a little bit. But this number is going to determine a lot of different things. If the CPI shows an uptick in inflation for September, there's a good chance the Fed will respond with yet another aggressive rate hike, and that could make life even more difficult for cash-strapped consumers who are being forced to rely on credit cards these days. On the other hand, if the CPI shows that inflation levels were lower in September than in August, the Fed may not feel compelled to implement as harsh a rate during its next meeting, and that could give borrowers a bit of relief. So depending on this number, also we are going to figure out what the COLA number is going to be on October 13th. According to experts and economists, it seems that inflation may be going down a little bit, but it's not really going to be a big significant 1-point drop, a 1% drop. It's probably going to still be around 8%. Life is getting more expensive by the day amid inflation. 32% of Americans are struggling to pay their bills, and that's probably just who they surveyed. The rising cost of living is causing more consumers to fall behind on their monthly bills. So 32% of adults have paid the bill late in the past 6 months, according to a recent report by the LendingTree, and 61% of them said it's because they didn't have the money on hand to cover the cost. About 40% said they are less able to afford their bills compared with 1 year ago. And most said they fell behind on utility bills, credit card payments, and cable or internet bills. One person said life is getting more expensive day by day and is shrinking. Americans' already tiny financial margin forever down to zero. So the CPI right now is the inflation rate up 8.3% for August is what it was. We will find out for September in just a couple of days. And then, food inflation soared in the US and farmers are planting wheat in the most expensive harvest ever. So droughts, high cost, and logistics are creating a worrisome time for farmers and consumers. It's causing the perfect storm here just about when a recession is going to happen. If it's not happening already, food prices are about to get even higher. So on Monday, benchmark wheat prices spiked to a 2-week high of 9.42% a bushel as Russian, Ukrainian cities are battling it out. The price of wheat is going up as well because all those exports from Ukraine are not getting out as they were before. So yeah, it's gonna be really high over the next year in terms of wheat prices. So bread prices, anything else related to that? Also, they use wheat to feed other animals too. Speaking of farms and stuff, coronavirus, stimulus check to farm workers, USDA select 15 organizations to administer FFW in our program. So these were the checks mentioned a while back. I thought these were going out, but all they are doing now is they're just announcing different programs that are going to distribute it, but I haven't thought this was done 6 months ago. Student loan forgiveness, no student loan debt relief coming before October 23rd, according to the White House. So we are the response to lawsuits from the Republican-led states seeking to halt the plan. The Biden administration offered new details about the timeline and the implementation. So in an October 7 filing which came in response to GOP-led lawsuits, seeking the hold of President Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. The White House said the Department of Education will not discharge any student loan under the debt relief plan before October 23rd. So Nancy Pelosi said that student loan forgiveness is not possible through executive action, as President Biden is doing, because the president does not have power over the purse, which I kind of thought was the case. The announcement came out to a bunch of people who had to do loans were very excited about it, and people who didn't have student loans were really upset about it. So it looks like there could be a chance that maybe it doesn't happen at all. We are gonna find out probably by October 23rd. With all these lawsuits mounting against President Biden, we will see what happens if he has the ability to actually do this. If he doesn't, it's gonna be a disaster because the Democrats plan to do that right before the midterm election. Then, when it comes to child tax and credit in 2022, huge direct payments up to $750 already going out to families. So basically talking about 3 different states, Connecticut, you are now able to claim a tax rebate of $250 per child, a maximum of 3 children. And for the child tax credit, Rhode Island families are similar to $250 per child, a maximum of 3 sets, $750 for 3 kids. And then New York, which is educated age from 4 to 17, we are able to get a $270 credit. Although I think a lot more should be done before the other categories like Social Security recipients, SSI, and SSDI veterans, there are still a lot of people who aren't getting as much stimulus attention. Seems like families are getting the most nowadays. That Denver said to give 140 homeless people up to $12,000 in cash as part of the basic income program. So this is going on in the state of Denver, Colorado. $2 billion going to give out $1,000 per month, which is $12,000 for the year. And applicants for that start on November 3rd. Then, when it comes to gas prices are about to hit over $4 a gallon on average. Take a look at the Republican perspective of all this. Rick Perry said, austere conditions in the country because of policy this administration has been involved with, particularly the oil and gas industry. They started sending a message on day 1, we are going to try to bring the fossil fuel industry to its needs. And they basically are doing a pretty good job of that. They are overtaxing, over-regulating, over-litigating. And if you want less of something, that's how you do it. You go in and government overtaxes, over-regulates, over-litigates. And that's what this Biden administration is doing. Shutting down pipelines, not allowing offshore drilling, not allowing federal lease. All of that collectively sends a message to the companies, whether they are small independents or whether they are the big oil and gas companies, that you better be really careful if you are going to go expend monies to explore for deliver oil to the refineries. And as a matter of fact, I think we are about 1 million barrels less refining in the US since the Biden administration took over. So all of that together sends a clear message that a lot of this recession that's happening is driven by the cost of energy. And America was independent for the first time in 60 years in 2019 because of the policies that President Trump put into place. We were producing, we were doing a great job. We were working with our foreign partners, and the supply of energy around the world was in a lot better place. So can we fix this problem? Perry thinks sending messages, if you want more of something, incentivize it. This governing is not rocket science. The point is, when the Republicans come into place, they need to use every tool that they have to be able to send the message to the fossil fuel industry. And also at the same time, this is a little longer range process, but send the message to the small modular reactor industry out there that it had the potential to really do some good things. It's going to take a while for that technology to get into place, but it could be faster than we realize. So fossil fuels and small modular reactors, those together can send the message around the world that America is going to get back into the energy business in a big way. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.